Hey there and welcome back to Sims Sunday. My name is Pete and as usual this is the series where we try to complete The Sims 3. And the start to today's episode is rather straightforward. Both Aisha and Patrick are still in bed while we have Paul awake, and he will begin his day with some computer games. All that while the ghost of Pete is sitting at the dinner table reading a book called Commitment Issues. Back to Paul, we're playing games to raise his fun bar because we're going for another promotion today. Thanks to an opportunity from the last episode, we received a nice boost in job performance, and I'm planning to cash in on that. Patrick is awake as well now, and to spend the few minutes before the school bus arrives, he will take care of his garden. Then we can teleport Paul over to the office building and tell him to work hard. Up next is some teleporting for Patrick. And we can see he has a need for some social interaction, so let's have him talk to his friends at school. And then another teleportation passenger arrives in Aisha. She comes fresh out of the shower and we can beam her over to the hospital. As usual, she will play golf and raise her fun bar. Alright, a few hours have passed, not much has happened, but Patrick has filled his social bar. So since this is his last day of school and he is a solid A and will likely stay there, let's switch him over to slack off and raise his mood a bit. And now we're already at the end of Paul's workday. We can see his performance meter has filled, so we just have to wait a few seconds. And here it is, the promotion to the lead reporter, level 8 of the journalism career. Now the stories and reviews requirement is back, but we have the weekend to take care of that. First of all though, we will have him head home and take a nice long shower. Then as usual, an hour later Aisha finishes her workday. We get slightly under 3,500 simoleons, and we can now send her over to the office building, because we do have over 100,000 simoleons, so let's invest a bit of that. Back at home, Paul has finished his shower and is now continuing work on his mystery novel. A few seconds later, Patrick arrives home and he will focus on the cooking skill for the rest of the afternoon. Alright, for 40,000 simoleons we are now partnered with the office building, and even though we have not yet made any more money, that fulfills a wish for Aisha to be worth over 500,000 simoleons. She gets 12,500 lifetime happiness points for that, quite the nice amount. Sadly though, we don't really have much to spend it on with her. Anyway, we have made it to the theater now, where we will do the same thing again and spend some more money on investments. And here we are, this time it only cost us 18,000 simoleons, and we are now partnered with the community theater as well. Aisha will now begin another round of collecting, and we can jump back home and tell Paul to stop writing. Instead, he can grab the phone and call Chastity. She agrees to come over in a while, that's lovely, so let's send Paul back to writing just for the time it takes her to get here. Okay, 20 minutes later, Chastity waits at our front door, and one very important thing, she is now no longer a teenager, but a young adult, so we can use the relationship that we have already built between Paul and Chastity to catapult both of them straight to the next level. While Paul continues to improve the relationship with his soon-to-be girlfriend, Aisha arrives back home. She has collected enough for today and will now send away a bit of stuff to be cut or smelted. Then, while Aisha analyzes some space rocks, Paul begins another interview. Apparently we can do that multiple times with one person, however not with household members, so let's get it over with before she moves in. With all the questions asked, Paul will now start writing. Chastity will hang out outside and hopefully still be there when he finishes the article. In the meantime, Aisha has not only grabbed but also finished dinner. She can now clean up and then work from home for a bit. Then Paul finishes a positive article on Chastity and we can get back to business outside. After a bit of cuddling, we go straight for the first kiss. And with success. And also accompanied by the money Aisha made working from home. We can see that Chastity is getting pretty tired, and with Aisha also going to bed here, why not ask her to stay the night? Alright, Chastity has agreed to spend the night with Paul, but before we send the two of them to bed, let's have them grab dinner first. While they're eating, we can tell Patrick to stop reading. He has been doing so for the last 8 hours, I believe, and I think a shower is well deserved now. After dinner, Paul will of course be a gentleman and clean up. And then how about a bit more romance? Don't let yourself be disturbed by Patrick, who's just cooking a meal over here. And what better way to end the evening than with one very important question? No, of course we're not going to marry her straight away, but let's ask her to go steady with Paul. Alright, that seems like it was crowned with success, and Patrick has also finished his food in the meantime. So let's wrap the day up and send Paul and Chastity to the bedroom. Now I know what you're thinking, but that's not what's going to happen here. We will just have them grab a nice round of sleep, no need to get ahead of ourselves here. Over in the other bedroom, Patrick will also go to sleep and we can skip ahead to the next morning. And that morning starts with Ahisha ready to go on another collecting spree. While she's on her way, we can sell a bunch of stuff from her inventory, including this gigantic space rock, which is worth over 6,500 simoleons. Then, while Patrick is still sleeping, we get the info that it is his birthday today. So today we have one more adult in our household. A little bit later he wakes up and we will go straight back to skill learning and have him read the cooking skill book in bed. Then Paul and Chastity wake up, and let's have them interact a bit more because we're actually pretty close to improving the charisma skill for Paul. And here we are with level 6 of that, one more wish fulfilled, and now it's time for another important question. And that is, will Chastity move in with us? Well, of course she does. Who would say no to that? So let's move her in, the rest of her household can stay where they are. And with that we are back to 4 people in the complete household. And Chastity also contributes 5,000 simoleons. Thank you very much. And the first object we're going to buy for her is a guitar. She is a virtuoso after all. And so of course we will get her employed in the musical career ASAP. So while Paul fulfills himself the wish to use the mirror to practice speech, Chastity begins to play guitar. She should actually be able to go through the first levels very quickly. With Paul, for the story and review requirement, we can then do a bit more research. The neighborhood trash cans are one of the fastest ways to get information. Then we can jump back over to Ahisha, who is still collecting, but let's have a closer look at where that actually is. As you can see, we own this lot, and if we check the upgrade requirements, we need to spend about 5,000 more simoleons here until we reach the next level. So let's do that now, and I actually have an interesting idea for this. First of all, we will begin with a 3x3 wall base, 3 stories high. Then we will use some wall painting to make the entire structure look like a big wooden tower. I want this to be kind of a lookout overlooking the lake and also the surrounding landscape, and this should also allow us to burn through 5,000 simoleons rather quickly. We will of course also paint it from the inside, and then use a wooden floor that kind of matches the textures on the walls. This one also has the perk of being completely free. Then, to add a door, I had to flatten the terrain in front of the tower a bit. The door itself then of course also a wooden one, slightly changed up in creator style. And now for the heart of our little lookout tower, this spiral staircase here. This will allow people to reach the top, where we can build a small lookout platform surrounded by half walls with a fence on top. Those walls will of course also have to look like the rest of the tower, both from the outside and the inside. Then we can use a few creative style adjustments on the fence, et voila, now the tower looks like it has been entirely made from the same wood. Of course, we don't want people to trip over themselves on their way up, so let's add a few windows. Alright, I think the tower is done. If I'm not mistaken, we have actually spent a bit more than needed, but the lake now has a nice lookout tower. To actually fulfill all of the upgrade requirements, we also have to place a picnic table. So let's do that over here by the playground, enter live mode, and we can see the property has been upgraded to level 2. So on Monday we will get a bit more cash from here. Now please excuse the very sudden end that now follows. I did actually record a bit more, of course, until the end of the day, but thanks to my own stupidity I locked myself out of the flat today. I had to wait several hours for the locksmith to arrive. Long story short, my plans for the day got pretty much screwed over, so I decided to put the end here because otherwise I wouldn't have been able to finish the entire episode. So sorry for that, I hope you still enjoyed the video. Leave a thumbs up if you did, and as always, thanks for watching and I'll see you next time. Cheers!